Hello, it's time for another video, and I was desperately trying to figure out what that next video would be. Not because I want to stay top of mind, but the people who actually like me do want to hear from me, and the people who actually like me are the ones who are subscribed. So that's about two-thirds of the people. Actually, one third. That's one third of the people who actually watch the videos. Why don't you like me? Please subscribe. I'm, harmless. Just come on. You can unsubscribe later, but come on, give me a little clicky thing. I'd appreciate it. Love you very much. I suddenly realized while sitting out in the garage, just contemplating life as I do, ruminating on all things and wanting to actually make a rant video instead, but changing my mind, that I remembered that I'm actually a published author. I'd forgotten that. Not a novel, couple of poems in a newspaper, small time. But I remembered that. And it's an interesting enough story. And I happen to have the newspaper in a box. So that was from 2000. I was working there at the time as like an intern. Nobody was paying me. I don't know what I accomplished while I was there other than these two poems. And it was Valentine's Day. And they needed filler for the ads page for Valentine's Day. So, any of you who read that Substack article I wrote about the C word, like content, I'm not a stranger to it. I know perfectly well when people are just making things to fill in spaces between ads, because I've done it. Which is why I did not go in the marketing direction. I went in a completely different direction with my life. But whatever. We're bringing it back so that you can see these or hear these two poems that I wrote on the spot because they needed to fill space. And I was like, why don't we just have some poetry? And they're like, well, who are we going to find? And how do we pay them? And like, why will they give us rights? And what? I'm like, I'll just write it. Like, calm down. Christ, these people, they got all uppity. Just do the work. Get her done. A week later, no one's going to remember this anyway. So the first poem is called ABBA Love, ABBA. Well, I might have this on screen, because I'm incredibly clever. Or I was when I was a youngin'. ABBA is the rhyming scheme. Anyway. Today I can think only of us, of fun and togetherness, the joy of happiness, and all we've built on love and trust. In my heart our love will stay. While dealing with strife, you're enriching my life, so here the clouds never rain. I try to show my love is true, with flowers and a bear and a dinner we share that somehow say, I love you. I know I've met my goal, for when you draw near, I feel a slight tear as I realize that woman is man's soul. I mean, it's not bad for some youngin' sitting at a desk just scribbling something off in 2 minutes. I mean, it's not great either, but it's published. Poem 2. Again, this is like a double page spread. This is called Love is the Reason. Love is the reason we pick wildflowers and talk for hours. Love is the reason we walk together no matter the weather. Love is joy, love is pain, love is dancing in the rain. Love is the reason we laugh and cry and live and die. Love is the reason that hatred went as we simply stopped to enjoy the moment. It's not the worst thing in the world either. Whatever. So that was 25 years ago. I wrote that. Now, I also have other things published, but they were self-published. There were some zines I do have a video back on my channel that says do not watch. Oops, I hit the microphone. That says do not watch, like very clearly across it. And that's true. You shouldn't watch that. There's bad things in there. But I thought, since this video would be very short, that I'd take the opportunity maybe to throw in some other bad things from the live poetry, art, and music night that we actually shot in black and white that was done in 1996, I believe, is when the poetry, art, and music night happened. The stuff that was read was written between like the 90s, or between 1990 and 1996. And not everything that I read necessarily was written by me, but I'll try to pick out clips that were. So you get to see young Ian here, assuming I can get any of this to work. And I'll put a bloop and put it after the bloop because honestly, viewer discretion advised for that stuff too. It's all pretty bad. You know, trigger warnings for everything in existence. So don't watch past the bloop if you don't want to see that crap. Okay, to be young. Thanks very much for watching today. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Moonlight bleed off the store's old copper roof and trickled down to the filthy street below. A gutted-out schoolhouse-style building had a bell tower and was constructed of red brick, but no ringing ever came from the bell, for there wasn't ever one in it. Rationing during the Great Narcotics War of 1919 required all schoolhouse-style buildings with bell towers to submit the bells to be melted down to make new hypo needles to keep the junkies' veins open and clean. One needs cleanliness this day and age, for the Tri-Date Commission has outlawed all other forms of ritual torture for the young. So showers are all a parent can use to control the soon-to-be sucking the system dry, bell-melting, pill-popping, degenerate typewriter guys.
The only legal type of self-mutilation was rectal piercing, and since it was in style, the youth of today have had a sudden increase in intestinal rupturing due to backed-up digestive tracts. What have kids come to nowadays with their suffocating baby teeth locked away in their skulls, feeding solely on soft bananas and rancid pudding? Who can save the Hitler youth of society, ready to kill not only different and more appealing lifestyles of rich, undernourished tycoons looking only to increase their own wealth, but also the government controllers of 19-day?
Ditch all the government controllers and live for yourself, says the boy's screamer street kid, too old for his age, has been fucking the government for years and knows much of the polity and workings of the system, and he hates it. He got AIDS from his mother, whose dying words were, "Do all you can with the life you have." So he's decided to fuck all involved government assholes who really deserve the input from a concerned citizen. And so by the time the boy died, he will have had the pleasure of knowing there would be a change in the world. One man can make a difference if he has a gift and puts his whole mind and body to the task. Never lose hope of having perfection in the palm of your hand. There was all... No, I'm not gonna read that.
Safe sex in the 1990s. I've even heard of a chap by the name of Lewisburg who once ate 17 rebels in the Great Narcotics War. So don't bitch to me about a general lack of morality among suburban youths in this city of insubordinate, pubescent world leaders. I just hope to God Almighty we can outdo these goddamn Eurotraps at their own game. Social obedience, my ass. The only way to prove to the world that casual sex is not only morally correct, but also mandatory. And I mean casual. So casual, in fact, all you have to do to make love to someone is to shake their hand. Amputees need not apply. Holy shit.
Go ahead.
These telepersonals are really getting me down, man. All they do is tell you that you're in a world where there are tens of thousands of millions more people like you to be around. And I swear all the great minds are getting together and are going to send all the people. Oh.
We wrote it a while ago, so it's kind of cheesy now. So we're going to skip the cheesy parts.
Who can reproduce like mink and raise children and turn out to be plumbers like them. Or if you're a girl, you can be the spokesperson for the new government that just talks all day, like all good farmers and construction workers do. The offices will consist of a newspaper depot where all the workers can come in and get their morning paper and to have something to talk about all day long, except for the fact that Thing Island will not have anything actually newsworthy to speak of. Not like there's anything good to read about anyway.
This damn world and all its inhabitants needs some sort of spiritual reform, maybe even one started by the very narcotics used to destroy it. Thing Island's inhabitants don't care of reform, only new fucking things to read about. Truth is, they're all illiterate. but try to impress each other by pretending to know how to read and write. It hardly works, but if someone admits to being illiterate, the whole system comes crashing to a halt. The public doesn't need to be informed, it already knows. On Thing Island, or in the United National Province Land, UNPL. No one even really cares. Their policy is to turn a blind eye while everything goes on behind their backs. What kind of system is that? I mean, once I saw, no, I'm not gonna read that. Sorry, it's all choppy now. We don't want to be like too rude at the beginning of this thing.
We'll read it again after everyone's had a few drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna stop. Thanks.
This is the last item for tonight. It's a Christmas story that I just wrote because we read all of our prepared material at the beginning of the show. So I wrote this. So it's really choppy, and it gets choppier near the end because there were more drinks near the end. Okay.
I like it.
But Sarah likes it, so
Yeah, it's all good.
I'm sure it'll be great. Okay, Christmas for the masses. It's that time of year again, the time when little kids make out lists for Santa. Bigger kids take notes on size, quantity, store, and page number, so that there can be no mistaking exactly what they expect to get. And the rest complain about how commercial the whole thing has become. It's that time of year when some families get together to feast on meat and stuffing and vegetables and salads, and others fight for a warm vent on the street, begging for coin just so that they might buy something to warm their blood for a while. It's time when thousands of mall Santas light up children's eyes and make them grin from ear to ear as they ask for things that they feel they've been good enough to receive. Some people believe that the big man actually comes down the chimney and leaves presents. Others can recognize their parents' handwriting, but don't mention it because it sure would be bad if they didn't get anything from Santa. And some people are sure that he doesn't fly around giving out presents, and those people tend to share that opinion with all they encounter, doing so in an attempt to educate the ignorant. Those people are missing the point. Christmas may be a time where people rush out to fill lists and rack their brains getting all the food ready and have nervous breakdowns because they can't find Tickle Me Elmo or new Pet Doctor Barbie. But Christmas is also, and above all else, a time of love, generosity. Store clerks seem friendlier to me. People are more polite. Well, unless they can't find Elmo. But even then, it's the kids that make them that way. A young child that doesn't get exactly what he asked for will go through a tantrum and carry on and make the parents feel like shit. I want camper trailer Barbie, not trail camper Barbie. I want all the Power Rangers, not just the black and blue ones. I hate you. Some kids understand. All some kids understand is asking and receiving. But there's so much more. There's anticipation and invigorating doubt. There's the love of picking out that perfect thing that will light up the receiver's eyes. The love of wandering through malls, seeing smiling faces, frowning faces, faces of children on Santa's lap, faces of elderly, watching the young, tears of joy running down their cheeks, love in their eyes. Christmas is emotion, solidified in cartons and packages and fancy wrapping. It's not commercial. It is represented by fantasy mixed with reality. It is a jolly old elf that reached Maslow's self-actualization level. He gives and gives, and gains and gains in both spiritual uplifting and weight due to cookies made with butter instead of I can't believe it's not butter. Don't people know he's overweight? But hell, man, if he can make it around the world in one night while stopping at most houses along the way, then I guess this guy can call Jenny Craig, maybe to make some house calls. I'm done. Enjoy Christmas. Enjoy other people's company. Live life to its fullest. Have a great holiday season. Thank you. You've been a great audience. And Chris and myself and everyone who participated. Have a great night.
The end.